Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about a really simple first aid thing that you can do in the wild in your own backyard with a plant that grows all over the world. It's called plantain. It's native to Europe and Southeast Asia. It was one of the first plants brought to America on the ships when we started colonizing. It's called plantain. The variety that I have is a broadleaf plantain. There's over 200 species all over the world that all relatively have the same medicinal properties to them. It's also known as white man's footprint. The best places that you can find this is places where the land has been torn up. So where you have trails or where driveways used to be, the way that nature uses it is to actually use the thick roots that it has, very strong roots, to actually bring the land back together. This is the plant. It's called plantain. I pulled one up so that you could see what it looks like. It's broadleaf plantain. Where was I going with this? Excuse me. The way that you can identify it is, these are some dirtier leaves, I apologize, is that it usually has 5 veins going up the back. You can see the 3 main ones, and there'll be 2 smaller ones off to the side here. It grows in a basal rosette, as we've talked about in the identifying plants based on their leaves videos. It does have short roots, but they're very strong down here. And this is actually a very small plantain plant. I harvested most of my bigger leafed ones. These leaves can be anywhere from, this big to being 5 or 6 inches long. You can find this all over the place. It's very easy to identify. There's not too many lookalikes out there, but again, just base it off. It's got a very smooth margin to it. Even though that one's a little ripped, it is a smooth margin. And you have your 5 lateral veins in there. So this has all different medicinal properties. I'm going to try to make some videos coming up on it because, you can use this for so many different things. This would be such a long video if I talked about everything at once. The 2 medicinal properties I'm going to use this for today is the fact that it does have an antimicrobial agent, so it's really good at disinfecting, and it also has a numbing agent to it. Now, I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit, but I have a genetic disorder where my teeth are extremely weak. I lose and break them very easily, and I also grind my teeth at night, which makes it a lot worse. And this morning, I did unfortunately break a tooth pretty badly. It's the one right in here. I don't know if you can see, but what you see there is about what's left of it. I did lose most of the root, so it's a bit painful. So what I'm going to do to fix this, just using this plant, I don't have to do anything to prepare it, is pull off some of the leaves. You are better off using the smaller leaves that are still developed, though they're mature, but they're small, so they have good medicinal properties to them. You don't have to dry them or anything. You're going to use them just as is. The most thing I would do is that you want to pull off the whole stem and make sure they're clean. Obviously don't pull them from anywhere that's been sprayed by pesticides or anything like that. Only very natural, clean places. Rinse them off with some water. Make sure there's no fungus or mold on it or anything like that, because you don't want to increase your problem. You want to decrease it. I always do remove that very thick, hard part of the stem because I've made that mistake before, and you don't want that stem to poke you and make it worse. I've done that, and it hurts like hell, so definitely remove your stems. And you're just going to take a couple leaves based on their size and how much you need. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ball it up. I'm going to stick it right in between 2 of my molars and just crush it up a little bit. You're not chopping it with your teeth. You're just crushing it. So it's sorry to be a little gross with pulling it out of my mouth, but so that you get that dark green starting, so that you can see it's starting to release some of the juices. Ball it up as tight as you can because you don't want to lose the leaves throughout your mouth. And then I'm going to stick it right off inside my gum against that tooth and just leave that there for a while. I do this all the time when I need to. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It'll actually start to tingle a little bit, and it'll numb the whole gum area around that tooth, and also release its antimicrobial agents to actually help clean it a little bit. Just remember, number 1, I am not a doctor, and I don't want to be responsible for anybody getting hurt or anything like that. So really make sure that you clean your leaf well, that it didn't come from anywhere, that anything has been sprayed, any pesticides, fungicides, anything to that effect. You do not want to get those chemicals in your mouth at all. And again, just make sure that you really clean it off well. Check for any rotting, anywhere that bugs have been eating, any funguses, molds that are on it. You want a really nice, clean leaf to do this with. And again, it's a little uncomfortable. Just make sure you pull that stem off so that it doesn't poke your bad tooth, because that'll hurt like hell. You're not going to put it into your wound at all. You just keep it on the gum around the wound, and it'll help numb it and soothe you a little bit until you can get to a dentist or whatever you need to do to fully actually cure it. It'll just be a good buffer in the meantime to help you out. So thanks you guys for watching. I'll have some more videos on plantain coming out soon. It's one of my absolute favorite medicinal plants. It's actually the first plant that I ever learned, which is what got me into identifying plants and using them medicinally. So I help anybody who has a toothache out there. They can use this to help. Just reiterating, I am not a doctor. I am not licensed. This is just something I've done for me that may be able to help you too. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.